So now let's take a look at a different one. Let's say we have the point -1, 1, and let's say we've got the point 2, 0. Right. And we want to find the distance between these 2 points. So let's go over here and just kind of roughly plot this. So we'll say that this, okay, so -1 and then up 1, so we'll say that's right there, and then 2, of course this is a big guess, 2 zeros about right here, and so we want to find the distance between these 2 points. Okay, the distance, we want to find the distance between these 2 points. Alright, so we're going to label this, should I use a different color? I don't know. We'll label this one x of 1 and this one x of x of 1 and y of 1, and then x of 2 and y of 2. Okay, so we want to use the formula x of 2 minus x of 1 excuse me, and then we've got y of 2 minus y of 1. Difference in x's and the difference in y's, and then of course this is d squared here. Now let me just say this, if you put x of 1 here and x of 2 here, you must put y of 1 here and y of 2 here, so it's not going to make any difference, okay, even though we are finding the difference. Okay, so now let's go ahead and plug our numbers into the formula, and we'll go back and use gray here, the original color. So we'll have 2 minus, I'll put this in parentheses because of that negative, 2 minus -1 squared plus, and then y2 is 0 minus y1, which is just 1 squared, and that's equal to d squared. So now what we'll do is go ahead and simplify this. So this is going to be a negative and a negative be a positive, and that'll end up being 2 plus 1 is 3, right, plus, and then 0 minus 1 is just -1. I guess we won't skip that step. We could have went ahead and squared that. So this ends up being 9 plus 1 is equal to, and I guess just like the previous problem, I didn't even plan this, but we end up getting the square root of 10 again. Alright, so we got to square root both sides. Okay, and then of course when we do that, we normally say plus or minus, but it doesn't make any sense to be taking the minus. We can't have negative distance, right? So we just leave that part off. Okay, so it's just a plus sign. Alright, so this distance here is the square root of 10, which was 3 point something or another. Okay, well let's look at another one before the day expires. One more we'll look at. Alright, let's look at -3, 6, and we're given the point 6, -2, let's say. Alright, so we'll go over here and plot that. So we go over -3, we'll say this is -3, and up 6. Okay, we better, alright, this is not going to be the scale here, -3 and 6. We'll say that's for this point here. And then we'll go over 6, and then down -2, something like that. And so we're trying to find this distance, the distance between these 2 points. Okay, so I'll go ahead and write out, and you know what, I'm going to do it this way this time. See, we could do it this way, but we got to make sure that we use the same order for our y's here. Alright, same order. Of course, this is the distance squared. Okay, so we have x of 1, which is -3, and x of 2, so this is a minus sign, we square it, plus y of 1, which is 6, minus y of 2, which is actually negative 2. Okay. There we go. So now let's go ahead and simplify this. We have negative 3 minus 6 is negative 9 squared, plus we have a minus, and a minus is going to make that a plus, so that becomes 6, 7, 8 squared. So negative 9 squared is 81. That'd be negative 9 times negative 9, and that's 64. Okay. And then of course 81 and 64 is 135. Yeah, 81 plus 64. I mean 145. And of course we'll want to square root that. D squared. And the question is, does that factor? Alright. Does that factor? And if it did, then we'd look for 4s going into it, or let's see, 9s or 25s or something like that. 5s go into it. No, 25s. Anyway, we'll just leave it like that. Okay, so you should be getting the hang of being able to find the distance. All right, find the distance. Okay, so I think we're gonna go ahead and move into graphing some things here. I think that's what we're gonna do next. So let's go back to our graph. I think this is what we started off with earlier, and we're going to talk about some graphing now. So we were just plotting some points, but now let's actually talk about graphing. So we're going to graph a couple things like y is equal to x. Let's graph that. Okay, so this is the graph of y is equal to x. Okay, and you notice that it's just a straight line passing through the origin here. It's passing through the point 1, 1, as you can see, passing through so when x is for example, this is a half, then y is a half. Of course that's, I think that's closer, oh well, doesn't matter anyway, it's right in there. Okay, so this is the graph of y is equal to x. Let's take a look at y is equal to x plus 1. Now you see what happened here. Y is equal to x plus 1. It's the same graph, except it got shifted up. It just got shifted up 1 unit. And if we said y is equal to minus 1, right, it gets shifted down 1 unit. It gets just shifted down 1 unit. See that? Okay. If I throw in a negative in front of x, I should be writing this stuff down, I guess, so you know what the heck I'm doing. Right, so we looked at y is equal to x. We'll just sketch it out by hand over here, or attempt to anyway. So y is equal to x, remember, was this line that passed through the origin that looked like that. And then we had y, let's see, and then we had y is equal to x plus 1, y is equal to x minus 1, and as you can see here, y is equal to x plus 1. It's this whole graph shifted up 1 unit. Okay, these lines should be parallel. And then of course x minus 1 is a graph that shifted, whoa, down 1 unit. Okay, shifting it up, shifting it down. Alright, so we're going to be talking a lot about this, and we're going to be going into the symmetry of a graph. Okay, so let's see, we'll do some more here.